Live. Or- And we're off to Paranormal Sunday. Welcome, everybody. We have butterflies chasing cats outside. Oh, here she comes. Did you find the kitty cat?
Huh?
Did you find the kitty cat?
I just told her cat went outside.
Hey, Bone, how are you? Bone's here. We're just getting started. Yeah, I gotta go like this. I
Sorry
gotta
about
go
that,
like this
guys. I
to
take
look.
care of stuff.
So we got butterflies and Kaythia Star, and we are going to be discussing some of our experiences. So we're going to start with Kaythia. Kaythia, take it away.
Kaythia Star. Thanks, guys. Well, welcome to a Paranormal Sunday in lieu of the Wednesday we missed last week. So paranormal, um, sharing some paranormal stuff. Um, well, I've been exposed I've been exposed to paranormal all my life, which is actually quite a common occurrence for and please don't bite my head off. But paranormal people who experience paranormal activity, I have discovered it is my personal experience that these are empathic people who are born sensitive, but also mostly come from low income families. In other words, we grew up in the ghetto. Now, okay, so why do I say this? Okay, well, it's the closest, the earliest paranormal activity that I can remember is residual activity and low vibrational entities. And that's because those are the closest, in my opinion, in my experience, these are the energies that are closer connected to. Basically, they can plug and play into anybody. When I was my first, I think my first recollection of paranormal experience, the one that was very, very, very clear. I was 7, and my parents they had some people over, and of course it was your typical 80s party with the kids in bed, and try to keep it down, but they don't, because they're so stoned and they're high. They're drunk. They don't really care what's going on. But all this activity had pushed up a lot of scampering. And so I'm huddled underneath my blankets, and I am scared witless of these little shadow creatures. They're probably about that tall. And I can see them. There's nothing there except a shadow on the floor. And as the light is coming in, the shadow is being cast on nothing. There should be a thing here, and it should be casting the shadow that I'm seeing on the floor, but there's nothing there. And there's no way these are rats, because rats don't walk on 2 legs. Okay. So these things, they were running in and out of the light, and I remember being so afraid because I didn't know what they were, and they were running around and they were scampering. And well, I was 7, and I was scared not just of them, but I was scared of peeing the bed. Because they were, like, they were running underneath my bed, and they were tugging at my, and I remember just being so overwhelmed. And it was, I think, at that moment where I started to question what I had been told as a child as far as faith is concerned, because I came from a background in which you sent the kids to church. The adults stayed home and slept in, but the kids, they go to church. So the church was telling me that if you pray to Jesus, Jesus will make them go away. Well, Jesus didn't show up. And so I remember being, I felt like I had been abandoned by the higher divines. And I was only 7 years old, you know. And that's when I met, that's when I met Charlie, because at that point, after that night, things kind of ramped up a little bit. I think whoever it was that was down there with my parents at that point, I think whatever had happened, they had ramped up some energy, or they had brought in some energy and left it behind. So it was about 2 or 3 days after that where I didn't want to go to bed anymore. And there was really no choice. And I just remember being so fucking frightened, being in my bed. And I had never felt that way before. But then I thought, it was that turnabout where, at that point I realized that if these things were going to eat me, that was my way out. Okay. I didn't have to throw myself off the roof or anything. They would eat me. I would be dead, and I wouldn't have to worry about Gary anymore. So I threw my covers off, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to be eaten. Okay. Laying there, 7 years old, ready to be eaten. And then this man in a top hat pops out, not from under the bed. He just pops out of the shadows. He's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for you to eat me. Let's go. And he's like, no, you're 7. You don't do that. I said, I'm way more afraid of Gary than I are of you and your teeth. Eat me now. And he's like, okay, there's something wrong here. And that's when he became my friend. My boogeyman became my protector. He figured that, after that conversation, it was just like a door was opened. And things started to happen all the time then, but I wasn't afraid of them because I had Charlie to protect me. So I know that sounds really strange. And there's a bit of odd, I don't know. Maybe that's why I like Terry Pratchett's Hogfather, because me and my boogeyman were very close friends. And I became more comfortable, and I felt more protected in the shadows by, I don't know what these were, but they didn't, I thought that I had been told repeatedly by these spiritual people, these Christian people, oh, these are demons, they're shadows, they're going to eat you, they're going to take their souls, they're going to suck your life away. And that was exactly the opposite. It was the exact opposite of what I was experiencing. And I know it wasn't in my head. It wasn't me dreaming. I'm not making this up, because as an adult, I can look back. I remember them clearly. Okay. So I know that these things are real. And I also know that these things aren't as bad as humans. And that's my first real dive into paranormal, real paranormal stuff. Before that, I had seen, like I said, I had seen residual energy. There had been a fire in the house. And I saw the curtains catch on fire one day, and I ran to my mother to tell her. And, she was like, oh, you're lying here. Well, a couple of days later, she finds out from the landlord that, yes, there was a fire in that room. Probably about 3 years before we had ever moved in. So there was some residual energy from that fire, and somebody did die in it, not from the fire itself, but from smoke inhalation. Just, and like I said, a lot of that before Charlie showed up, it was a lot of residual energy that I would be able to pick up. But Charlie, And those demons, I think those were my first paranormal exposure. And because of the strangeness of it, I never really feared it too much. Not really. Not like normal kids. So that's my paranormal first. Hello?
Sorry, we're here.
I was beginning to wonder.
There, I couldn't unmute because I got my phone trapped in its device, so I don't push any buttons. And they're scarfing on lasagna, and I want to eat some, but I'm afraid if I eat, I'll pass out, and I want to. So, wow. But you know what? I can so relate to your boogeyman becoming your friend because that's what happened to me.
Yeah. It's not I thought it was an uncommon thing. Apparently, it's actually not all that uncommon.
And what if
kids
the
who need it?
But what if the boogeyman wasn't really the boogeyman to begin with? What if it really is a guardian angel?
Well, that's
that
what
you
Terry
just think was a
Pratchett tackled
boogeyman?
in Hogfather.
Oh, I
At the
never
end of
saw that.
Hogfather.
So,
Oh, well, you
read it
definitely
already.
should, because it talks about how the boogeyman becomes the tooth fairy.
See? That's really interesting that you should mention that, because now thinking back on like my first experience and stuff, because I was never scared of them. Ever. To this day, I'm still not. There's only one thing that I was scared of, and that's when I went a little too far. When I was a little girl, I didn't know what I was doing. I was little. I don't even know that I knew what even that was. I thought it was just dreaming. You know, the whole thing with the swing and the moon and going to this other place, and then sleepwalking and telling my body, I'll be right back, just stay there, like we were discussing backstage, you know. But I didn't know what I was doing until like 40 years later. Somebody said that was astro projecting. You were astro projecting or whatever. And I'm like, really? Because I remember one time I went a little too far. And then this thing that was really frightening, but it wasn't frightening. I mean, it was frightening at first because it popped out. I don't like things popping out at me. It pisses me off. But it wasn't frightening to where I was frightened the whole time. It's like I was frightened for a minute, then I was just like kind of, okay, whatever. And that's how it always was. And the big giants that I would go visit, they would protect me. And that's so weird. And they were protecting me from my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad was the one, come on, Nancy Ellen, let's go back to bed. And I'd have to hurry up and get back in my body because my body was just standing there because I wasn't in my body. But nobody would believe me when I said that. Oh, of course, I was demon possessed and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. You know, and then one time they were at my window and they're like, well, you don't really want to see our true form. And I'm like, I want to see as much as I can handle. I said, but don't scare me too much. And they're quite interesting looking. And they're not the same looking either. There's several different forms. And I don't know if it's the same one taking on different forms or what. But the only
you're leaning more into the supernatural than the paranormal at that point, V.
Okay, then explain to me the difference, please.
Okay. Paranormal is ghosts, supernatural is angels. Paranormal is orbs, supernatural is dimensional beings.
Gotcha. So when I see the orbs and that's paranormal.
Yes.
But what about when the orbs open up into like wormholes?
Paranormal. Nope.
Okay, paranormal. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens when you see somebody who's deceased, right? ghost, air quote,
Paranormal.
ghost, paranormal. But if you see an entity, that's supernatural.
It depends upon the entity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like the shadow people. Shadow people would be
shadow people. Yeah, that's that's paranormal. If you're talking
Okay.
about there is a lot of crossover. Okay.
Okay.
Just to
Mhm.
make that, just to put that out there. It's sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. I mean,
Okay.
what is a boogeyman supernatural or paranormal? I don't think anybody's actually asked that question before. In my
Yeah.
case, I would call it paranormal, mainly because I'm awake. He's almost physical.
Right.
I would swear. I mean, I saw him full on. There was no shadow. There wasn't silhouette. Charlie is Charlie. He's got a top hat. Actually, he looks a little bit like the well, never mind. You've never seen Buffy, so you would never know. But for
Yeah, I've
those who
seen
do
Buffy.
know,
I've seen Buffy. Buffy was one of
Charlie
my
looks
favorite
a
shows.
lot like the child disease that Buffy came across when she was in the hospital and had that fever.
Okay.
There was a German boogeyman thing that was sucking children's eyeballs out of their sockets and things, and it was sucking out their soul. Charlie looks a little bit like that.
Okay.
He's got the top hat, and he's I would call him very Victorian Sherlock, gentleman-y kind of. He's blonde. He's definitely got sharp teeth, but they're not that separated, serrated
Razor. Yeah.
razors. Yeah, they're just fangy and sharp. He's gaunt, slightly yellow. Actually, he's like got that pale white, pale yellow thing going on. Maybe his eyes were blue at one time. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. But yeah, dark circles under his eyes, sunken, like the eyes sunken in. And so yeah, that's what and I wasn't afraid of him. And he had a magic whip. He had a magic whip. And that's what he used to basically, he would call it, do I need to whip my boys into shape? I mean, that's what he would say. Are they getting too rowdy for you tonight? And and that's what would happen. I mean, if the spirits or the paranormal or if there was something going on and it was getting too rowdy, too loud, he would say, do I need to whip my boys back into shape? And depending upon what I said, depended upon whether he pulled out the whip or not.
Interesting. Wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
I know, right?
So butterflies.
Yeah.
She's muted.
Yes.
Butterflies.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
I'm enjoying the lasagna. It's so
is
good.
it good?
Yes.
I know. Darth started speaking Italian out here. So, why don't you share what happened with you?
What happened to me?
Yeah, I'll mute. I'm muting.
Okay. Just say that whenever I was a kid, we lived in a house, and it's we moved in and everything was fine, everything until supernatural things started happening. Sorry. Just say that one time my mom told me to go down the basement and do some laundry. I said, okay, I'll do it for you. You know how it is. Obey your mom and dad, do whatever. So I went down there. So I decided that I was down there by myself. Usually, whenever I'm down there, I hear this like a beeping sound. Like a cracking, like somebody going down the steps or something. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, but it does that a lot for some reason. So I was down there doing laundry, and it got really, really cold. It's like, what did it get so cold down here for? I looked everywhere down there. I made sure the door was shut that goes out the outside. It's shut. The windows were shut. And I was like, oh, there's nothing down here. So I go ahead and do, the laundry. Well, something was telling me not to turn around, but I did anyways. So whenever I turned around, I saw this is it really?
Yeah. It sounds choppy.
My audio is choppy?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so choppy for?
I don't know.
Huh. I don't know. Is my audio choppy, guys? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, it's it sounds like there's something wrong with the mic, like it's not quite plugged in all the way or something.
Hold on. I'm looking.
Okay, suddenly your mic got real good. What?
Oh, now it is?
Now it's
because
fine.
I changed it. That's why. Okay.
Okay.
Do I have to start over? Okay, well, anyways. No. Where was I? Down the basement, right?
You had turned around even though something told you not to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I turned around and I saw this like a figure, a woman, white, all white. I couldn't see her face. It's just all white, and she was wearing this white dress. And she was standing there with her arms out, looking at me like her arms, two hands are out at me. And I was so shocked and looking at her, and I blurted out, "What do you want?" And she literally just went through me. And that was it. I went upstairs. I told my mom. My mom's like, no, you're just hallucinating and stuff like that. She didn't believe me. And I experienced that. And then once my mom and dad got a divorce, my dad had a girlfriend, and we stayed at her house. Her house was very haunted. I'm telling you, this is the worst experience I ever had. I had my own room, and one day I decided to go in my room and go to sleep for the next day for school. And my brothers, I thought it was my brothers playing a prank on me because it freaked me out. I saw that I turned off the light, and all of a sudden I see this figure, like right there on the floor, all crouched up like this. And next minute I knew, it went right under my bed. I turned on the light and I ran out of my room, and I saw my brothers line up to the bathroom. And I looked at my brother. I was like, "Don't you dare freaking scare me like that." And my brother's like, "What are you talking about?" And I kind of freaked out because, my brother was sitting there telling the truth. So I went back in my room. A couple days later, I decided to leave the light on because I was scared to death. And so one night, since all that was going on and all that, I forgot all about it. So I decided to turn off the light again. Oh my gosh, could you not? Same figure on top of the ceiling, looking at me, close to my face. It freaked me out. I mean, the worst. I literally could not scream or anything. I just sitting there staring at it. It was staring at me, and it freaked me out. And I'm telling you, that house is haunted. I even told my dad about it. My dad didn't believe me. And my brother did. He said, "Sis, you're not lying. That house is haunted." I was like, "What did you experience?" He said, "Well, Me and my girlfriend was home alone. Like, they were home alone watching TV, whatever. And they saw this. They hear something. Something was like laughing, like an old lady. And my brother turned around and he saw this old lady on a walking chair laughing back and forth on the walking chair and laughing and laughing. That did it with him and his girlfriend. They went out of the house. I mean, I wasn't the only one that experienced it. It was scary. Very scary. I mean, and then like the one house
it's very interesting stuff, B.
Yeah, I've been through a lot.
I have a question about your first story about the female all dressed in white.
Yes, I saw her first.
Did she have a face?
No, she did not have a face. She had very long hair.
Was her hair covering her face?
No.
But she didn't have a face. So it was blank?
It was blank, but her whole face was white.
Oh, interesting. Huh. And you say it got cold first?
Yes, it got cold first.
That has to be a passed on loved one. When you're talking about, okay, so again, you're not going to find this anywhere. This is just stuff that I have experienced. And these, I could be wrong. These are just personal theories. Okay. So take this with a grain of salt. In my experience, when a room is drained of heat, it's not that the entity is draining the room of heat. It's they're draining the room of energy.
Yes.
Okay, because there's a lot more energy in heat than there is in cold.
Yes.
Okay. And so also when okay, how do I explain that? It's like condensation. It's not condensation. It's like when particles come together, there is a transference of energy from the whole room to one center point.
Yes.
Okay, and when that happens, the environment gets cold. The stronger the entity, the colder it gets, and may also be accompanied by what is called a phantom breeze.
Huh.
So the stronger the entity and the quicker that it condenses into a singularity, I'm trying to find words, the more energy is transferred, and what comes in also must come out. So there's also this gust of wind. I was wondering if you had witnessed that too, or if it was just
all foggy, like foggy too. Like whenever I saw her, there was like a mist.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of mist. That's what I saw too.
All right, what that was, believe it or not, because of the message, don't turn around, because of the coldness and because of the fogginess, you have experienced a full-fledged, full-bodied, one-of-a-kind apparition. It was definitely a person of the dead kind. And it must have been an ancestor or something that had some type of connection to you because of her outstretched hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there is a lot of myth and folklore surrounding fog and paranormal activity. Biggest example I could possibly give is Gettysburg. Anytime the battlefield at Gettysburg gets foggy, especially early in the morning or very late at night, you can hear and see things through the fog. And that's because it has been believed for centuries by humans that fog is a doorway. It is a portal between the land of the living and the land of the dead. And Niffle, who is basically, he's the god of fog. He's the god of nothing. Okay. That's where he resides. He is the fog. He is that door. He is the underworld. And it's very cold. It's very, very cold there because of there's not a lot of energy in that. It has to do, and there's something to do with, it has something to do with water. Whenever there is a what do you call it? It has to be a substance that can be both solid, gas, and liquid. There has to be a substance like that present for these things to occur. Right. For example, you said you were doing laundry. It's very probable that it had something to do with the water and the pipes that day, and the energy. And it was a reaction, and it opened up a door for a very brief moment. And same thing with the it's the same thing with the entity that you saw on the floor and on the ceiling as well. Is that generally speaking, there's going to be some atmospheric activities with that too. And it generally speaking, broadly speaking, it has to do with water, vapor, fog, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it just I had more experiences when my dad when he was done with it, I guess not together with his girlfriend anymore, and we moved to a house. It was haunted too. It freaked me out more than anything. I seen more down there than I did any other place too. It just experience. I mean, it's just crazy. All this stuff going on. People think, hey, you're crazy, and you're not. Well, you see, and you're not. I mean, seriously.
There are places.
Like, is this real? Are you really seeing this? You're thinking you're crazy at first, and then whenever the experience keep happening, you're like, no, I'm not. Not crazy.
Right. And if you're paying attention, you will begin to notice that there are specific conditions that need to be met, or specific places, geographical places. One of these things being, well, geologically speaking, there has to be water and quartz that rub together. That makes knocking sounds. That's where we get knockers from. Personally, I believe that that's a little bit of the Bell Witch, that the knocking witch, the lore and the myth from that. I think that has some geological foundation. The doorway between worlds that can be found in fog, but also on places like on mounds, mountaintops, hilltops, but also in ravines as well, low places and high places. Then there is an experience that I had, which led me down a series of they weren't connected, except for the fact that they all involved garbage, sewage, or waste. Sewers, pipes, and that sort of thing. Dark entities, low vibrational entities will move and live in places. I found that you're going to find hoarders' houses going to be very haunted too. When I first moved out of my of my parents' house. I lived upstairs from a bad hoarder. He was a friend of the family, and I was living there with my husband at the time, Charles. We had 2 roommates, Jason and Brian. George was he didn't just collect things at flea markets. Okay. George was a dumpster diver, and he would bring home rotten apples and rotten bread, and because he was from the generation that almost starved to death. Okay. He's from the Great Depression, and then his family went right into World War II, and there was, heavy duty rationing. So that's just what he grew up with. Now, does that exclude the whole idea of him stuffing his part of the house with literal garbage? No, he did that anyway, regardless of its condition. But as we were living there and he kept accumulating and accumulating, what was happening downstairs was kind of a reflection of what was happening upstairs to Brian. Brian got it in his head one day, and and normally I would call bupkis on this. I would be like, no, that's completely, and there was a time in my life where I didn't believe it either. But having the experience that I have now, yes, you can actually draw up a contract with demons. I mean, like actual paper contract. We started to experience a lot of strange shit. I mean, just strange shit. And then Charles went off to basic training, and it ramped up. One night, me and the guys were in the living room upstairs, and we were just playing D&D to pass the time because it was late, it was hot, and we were poor, because we're just kids and we ain't got nothing else to do. And this was back when, cable, you paid out the nose for cable. So we didn't have any cable. So we were playing D&D. And the door was closed. Okay, so hold on to your hats, everybody. This is my scary story. You're not going to believe it either, because I didn't believe it as it was happening. I retell it and I still don't believe myself when I open my mouth up about it. Okay, so we're in there playing D&D. Yes, we are all awake. No, there is no weed, there's no drinking, because we just couldn't afford to do it. It was too much money, all of our money went to pay for rent and utilities. We had nothing left at the end of at the end of these paychecks to even have food. So, we're sitting in the living room, we're playing D&D, the door's closed. Okay. And the hall light is on, and we just have a dim light in the living room, and we're all huddled around the coffee table, and we're rolling dice and we're doing our thing. And I'm DMing, and I'm talking to Jason. Jason's on my left and Brian's on my right, and the door is right in front of me, and right behind me is the window. And over behind Brian, and this is going to be important later on, by the way, right behind Brian is the TV that doesn't have a signal. It's not turned on. It's just there in the corner. Okay. The setting is set. So I'm just doing my thing. I'm telling my story, blah, 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 blah. And the next thing I know, there is a green light glowing from underneath the door. And I stop because this is not happening. Hey guys, just putting this out there. I just want to make sure that I'm not effing nuts. Can you see a green light under that door? Okay. They thought this was part of the game. Do you want me to roll for that? No, dude. I want you to turn your head and look at the fucking door. Okay? They're like, right? So they look at the door and they're like, oh my God. I've got 2 other witnesses besides me. They're seeing a green light shining from underneath the door. There's no explanation for this. George isn't home. Okay? Charles is gone. The doors are locked. We're home alone. There's no reason for this green light. The whole light is a normal light bulb. It's like that yellow-white color. This is predominantly, dominantly green. There's no doubt that this isn't green. Okay. All right, so what do? We're stuck in a... This is why I'm so Wicca practical. Because when you're stuck in a situation like that, you got to work with what's in the room. Okay, everybody, let's see what we can do. We have a cup of water. We have a small candle. We have 1 cone of incense. Maybe that might work. Don't know yet. Is there anything else in this room we could possibly use? Okay, I have my tarot deck. All right. Boom. Let's do this. What do we need to do to make this stop? Okay. At this point, Brian goes, hey, you need to see this. And Jason and I look over. And now there are shadows running across the hallway back and forth, interrupting that green light. And it sounds like little footsteps. There's no fucking way this is mice. I'm sorry. That just isn't. It would be an army of mice or an army of rats. That's just too many that's just too much. Okay, so now at this point, we're freaking, and there's no amount of money in the world that's going to make me open up that door. There's no voice ever created that's going to make me open up that door to check and see. Motherfucker, I ain't doing it. What I am doing is I'm pulling out every Wicca thing I can possibly think of. Every incantation of protection I possibly can know is coming out. Now, fortunately, we had been using the room for a lot of our light work. So on the floor in tape is our circle of protection. So our pentagram is taped on the floor. This is very good at this point, okay? Because me and Jason, we're practicing Wiccans. Brian, he swears up and down he's an atheist. He ain't an atheist no more. In any case, also on the walls, we had put up a lot. We had some black paint, so we painted up some protective symbols around the room. So this was like our little temple of blessed, protected sanctuariness. And I am so glad we had this shit up, because you're not gonna believe the stuff that happened. Okay, all right. So I'm going around the room with this cup of water, the only cup of water that we have in the damn room, which has been blessed. And I'm sprinkling it on every single corner. I'm sprinkling it everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Okay, so this part is where Kaythia learned that you shouldn't just bless the walls and the doors and stuff. You also need to bless the electrical outlets and every other way in. We get this done. We're sprinkling. Everything's protected. We're in our little protective circle. We feel okay. We're fine, right? No, the green light's still there. These little stompy feet, whatever they were, they have stopped. The TV flips on white static. Now, y'all have seen Exorcist. You know what I'm talking about. Now, again, I thought that That can't possibly. No, motherfucker, it's real. Okay, it's real. Okay, we go over. Jason wrote, well, actually, Jason, I'm like, the TV, the TV. Jason runs over to the TV and he unplugs it. Do you think that stopped the white static from happening? No. No. No, it did not. Me and Brian are pissing ourselves. I am so serious. Jason, in his quick thinkingness, because I'm doing this. There's no way this could be. There's no way this can be real. And Brian, our avid atheist, is going, no, 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 no. Jason flips the TV around so that it can't see anything, right? The white static stops. Okay. Okay. Everything's silent. Is it over? I don't know. Because there's this lull. And Jason comes back to the group and he looks at me and I look at him and I'm just like, I've never read or experienced anything. Oh, and I'm not done, by the way. This keeps going. I've never experienced or read anything about and nothing like this. This is shit you see in the movies. This stuff's not supposed to be in your face real. This isn't supposed to be happening. Brian is now just sitting on the floor in the middle of the circle, holding a throw pillow, rocking back and forth, going, no, 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 this isn't real. No, 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 this isn't real. No, and we couldn't get him to stop. We could not get him to stop. Okay, all right. So Jason is like, okay, what do we do now? Because at this point, it's just silent. And I said, I don't know, but I will tell you this. We are not leaving the circle until the fucking sun rises. I don't give a shit. You need to piss, you piss in a bottle, or you piss out the window. We are not fucking leaving this room. There's no fucking way you're crowbarring me out of here. I don't care. Brian, he's still sitting in the no, this is not happening. No, this is not happening. No, this is not happening. Brian, just shut the up, dude. You're driving me crazy. Shut up. Full on teen drama here. No shit. There I was. Okay. All right. So Jason's like, okay, well, do we just keep playing our game? And I'm like, dude, I'm not, I don't know either. I think we should just sit down, find a calm place, and just take it from there because we're not going anywhere. Okay, he sits down. I'm sitting down. Brian has finally, he's just rocking now. Okay, all right. Okay. This is where the weird shit really starts. Now we're sitting in the middle of the room. Now we're sitting in our circle. Okay, it just happened that way. From the TV, there's this lump. That's the only thing I can describe it as. It like the TV ballooned a lump. Both Jason and I saw it at the same time. And I looked at him and I said, you saw that, right? And he's like, fuck yeah. I said, we're not finished yet. We get closer. And we are now, all three of us, in the fucking middle of the circle. And Brian's just rocking back and forth. No, please, don't do it again. It's happening anyway. So imagine the walls like a film of plastic. Okay. And it can bend like a piece of rubber. Like you're surrounded by this rubber something, this rubber room. All right. This ball starts to work its way around the room by pushing its way in, and you can see the ball moving. up and down the walls, trying to find a way in. All right. And it's moving all the way around the room, and it's going counterclockwise. All right. It's moving around the room, and it's testing, trying to see what can come in. At this point, I look at Jason and I said, did we bless everything? And he's like, well, yeah, I thought we did. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, I mean everything. No, we didn't. We forgot outlets and we forgot windows. So here we are taking the water, blessing outlets, throwing water on the windows, going around the room and making sure that every single possible way in is covered. This bubble thing works its way all the way around the room, including around the window frame, coming back and around, and then it stops. The bubble goes away. Now, the green light has been there the whole time. The green light finally dissipates. Brian has calmed down to the point where he's just in a fetal position, laying down in the middle of the circle. Jason and I are just shaking our heads because to this day, I can't explain to you what that was. I can give you a theory about what it was, and that's really scary. The night passed. We did not leave that room for any reason whatsoever. Brian stayed right there in the middle of that circle all night. He fell asleep right there. He wouldn't move. Jason fell asleep on the couch, and I fell asleep on a chair. And finally, the sun came up in the morning. And we opened up the door, and it was just like nothing had happened. All right. So at this point, we're really just, we spend the next couple of days shrugging and shaking our heads like, because people think that, it's nuts. And Jason and I, we want answers. Okay. So we've spent the next, few days talking about, demonic energies and the occult, possible demons it may have been, what could have happened that was let it in the house, all of this stuff. Finally, by like day 3, Brian goes, oh, wait a minute. I think I know. It's my fault. And okay, number 1, you said you're an atheist. How can it possibly be your fault? Well, last week, I brought my stuff in from the last, it was the last bit of his stuff from moving in. His mom called him and basically said, you need to get your crap out of my house, boy, or I'm going to get okay. Well, he went over there and he got a couple more boxes and he brought them back. What he brought back was this. I don't know why an atheist would do this, but apparently Brian had gotten so depressed that he had written up a contract trading his soul for certain things. And it was just left unsigned. Now this thing, he pulled it out and showed us. He pulled this thing out and showed us. It was typed up. It was typed up and edited. Seriously, the only thing it needed was his signature on it. I said, this can't be. This shit's not real. Right? It is if you want it to be. That's the answer. It is real if you wanted it to be. And at the time that Brian wrote that contract, he wanted it to be real. He wanted it to be real. And he wanted it so bad that he actively put energy and time into this document. That's what matters. Not the document itself, but the energy, the intention. He didn't know it, but this dumbass atheist was working with shit he did not understand, and he actively made something happen and then left it unsigned. These entities were trying to claim what was theirs, which was his signature. And it was strong because of the condition that the house was in. George was bringing in garbage. This is the realm of demons. This energy, this low energy, this mutating energy, the infestation, the putrefaction, the fester. Of course, it was like a huge beacon. In addition, I found out later on that there was a problem in the basement with the sewage pipes. Everything was emptying into the basement. I didn't know this. I was only there for a few months when we moved out. But all our showers, all of our visits to the latrine were emptying out into this house's basement. This was not just a huge ding-dong beacon to demons. This was like just a blatant invitation. It was like a neon sign blinking. Come get me, come get me, come get me, come get me. And it all has to do with energy, intention, all that stuff. So did it happen? Was it real? You betcha. Was it paranormal? Yes. Was it supernatural? It was everything. And it was the most real thing I have ever experienced in the whole of my life. Do I believe? Yes, I do. And that's my story. Wow.
And that's like so true. You have to be, so many people don't know what they're messing with. You know, what we speak, what we write out into the universe. The universe doesn't play. The universe has very, very specific laws and standards. And, when you project something, like when you're trying to manifest something, especially if you're putting your whole heart into it, anger is probably the worst thing. I don't even want to say it, but somebody wishing ill on somebody else, but with such a vengeance and stuff, all that is projected out. And basically, the universe is like, somebody said it to me this time. It's like basically like your wish is my command. Your wish is my command. So you're projecting crap. You're going to get crap. You have to be very careful. And a lot of people, and there's so much with this witchcraft and this spells and, here, write this so many times. You see it all over YouTube. And these young kids are doing it. They don't know what they're doing. That fucking Ouija board. Okay. All that stuff. If all it takes is one person to really believe to make stuff happen. And if you don't have the proper training and you don't know what you're doing, and this is the trap that I fell into, seriously, my kid, Wishmaster Cronus. Yeah. I mean, seriously, that's a movie and everything, but listen, my kid, taught me my air quote gifts, my special abilities. Okay. When he was very, very young. And I saw a green mist in the mirror, and I was writing it in the chat. In my parents' bedroom, it's where my dad shot himself. And I'm just like, I was tripping, and my son goes, "What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "Do you see that?" He goes, "Yeah, that's a prison cell." He's 4, by the way. I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, that's where I put Tommy. Bad Tommy. Bad Tommy had to go to prison." I'm like, "Really?" Well, Tommy, none of you know, was my ex-husband's spiritual guide to the other side. There's no way in hell my son would have known this. And then he said, "Mommy, you've got the gift too, but you just don't use it because you're scared of it. That's why you drink." My kid was 4 years old. he showed me a lot. And but it's true. It's like what you project. And I've noticed this lately. That's why I just try to stay kind of neutral. But it's hard. It's hard because we're human, and we want things and stuff. But all these, it just really pisses me off. Here's how to manifest in your sleep. Here's how to do. But these kids, they're messing with stuff that they don't know.
Well, that's the funniest part about this story, V, is that this all centered around an atheist who was willing to give away his soul because he didn't believe in it.
Right?
He just wanted money. He wanted all the standard things. He's like, well, I don't actually have a soul, but you know what? If I do, I really am willing to trade it away for material goods. That's the funniest part, is that you don't even have to believe to make it real.
Exactly.
So that's what I tell atheists, is that you don't have to believe in anything, because I promise you they believe in you.
There's a question right there. Can I be a Christian and still like the occult?
You betcha you can, Kronos. You betcha you can.
Yep. A Christian, to me, what a Christian is you believe in the ways of Christ and his teachings, but not the Christians. I didn't want to get into religion. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in the bullshit that goes along with religion, that you have to do this and that. Now, read the Bible. Show me where it says that. And yeah, you could believe in the occult. Yeah, you could watch scary movies. Are you going to hell for that? Fuck no. Where does it say that? It does not say that. It says if you invite and you, it doesn't even say that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, V. Everybody knows you can only get saved here at this church. You can only go to heaven if you go to this church. You can only get set free if you give money to this church, not any other church in the whole wide world, just this one.
No, it shouldn't be like that. It should be like, if you believe in God, you can like sit down and you could read a Bible at home and do your own teaching at home. YouTube channels, whatever you want to do, believe in what you want to believe. But to me, everywhere you go, it's like I pray, I do all that. I'm very Christian to me because I sit down and do all that. I pray and all that, believe in God and all that. That's my own
question. I got the question. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, did Jesus read the Bible to find God?
No, he didn't.
What did he do to find God?
He prayed.
He prayed.
And
he meditated. No, he meditated. He fasted.
So you don't need a Bible to find God. You can find God where?
God is with us. God
in your heart. In your heart, mainly.
If we're if we are made in quote unquote his image, we already got God. God is already in us.
If I was to follow Jesus and his teachings, does that really require me to read the Bible?
No.
No.
There's no requirement. The only requirement is this: love God, love people. That's all Jesus said.
Exactly.
Love God.
Well, no, he said
people.
No. He did say to keep to the 10 commandments, though. He did say that.
He said and keep the Sabbath. When the apostles asked him which of the commandments, blah blah blah, he said, love God, love people, and keep the Sabbath. Keep one day holy that you devote to Source, to God.
And he didn't even say what Sunday.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He didn't.
Okay.
No.
Sunday wasn't even invented during Christ's time. There was no such thing as Sunday.
But Jeff B's right. Yes, he did study the Old Testament. But that's not where he found God.
Yeah, but that's not where he found God. That's where he found some wisdom.
Right.
But he found God the same place Abraham found God, which was on the mountaintop.
The truth is...
But the truth is what your truth is. And that's why you can't just sit there and say, no, my God is the right God. Because there's because you don't know. What if one God has many? He has many names. Elohim. He's got
Jerusalem.
many names. He said,
Yes.
I am. Tell him that I am sent you, because you can't tell me what name it is, because if my name here, it doesn't mean shit down in Mongolia. My name means something
Mhm.
different in Mongolia. My name means something different in Norse. My name means something different anywhere you go. It's still the same story. It's still the same basic
Oh,
belief
Okay,
system.
ladies, let's get back to the paranormal.
yes,
All right.
I got one.
Sorry, I knew that I didn't want to go up on that
Um,
tangent today.
when
Ah,
when
what is in your
Kaythia
heart?
told a story about that, it freaked me out because it reminded me of something. What happened to me and my friend. I really don't like talking about it because it still freaks me out this day, but I'm going to.
On mute.
Okay. um, just say that me and my friends and Darth Haster decided to all hang out. So we did. Me and Darth Haster was friends at the time when this happened. And we were at a friend's house, and one of my friends decided to take out this. I don't know what it is. Like it's a thingy where he moves the thing up and down, and you ask questions about stuff with the spirit. Yes, no, when it moves. Well, when he was doing that,
Are you talking about a pendulum, honey?
yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. When he was doing that, we were asking questions, all that, have fun with it. We didn't think anything of it. Well, it turned into something not good. Just needless to say, a bad there was two bad spirits that decide to mess with my friend first, and he got possessed, talking nonsense and all that. Didn't understand what he was saying. Like, what the heck's going on? And then next minute, it got into me, and all I could think of is me fighting it to get out and everything. So it freaked me out. I was screaming, I was crying. I'm like, please help me get this stupid thing out. Well, my friend started praying, and I started praying. He says, and my friend came up to me and says, "Oh, butterflies, we like, sorry." He says, I talked to God, and he says sending angels down to help us. I thought he was kidding, just saying nonsense and stuff like that, at the time. And I was like, okay. And we were still fighting it and everything. And next thing I knew, I saw these two angels come down, pulled two bad spirits out of our bodies, and they were shaking their head like this, like no, like this. And then they really took the two bad spirits, stomped on them, and threw them down to the ground. And then I heard them say, "Go back to hell where you came from." And that was it. They were gone, and everything was peaceful. And that was the worst experience I ever went through. Bad.
Oh wow,
It freaks me.
that's amazing, B.
Yes,
That's
it freaked me out.
really amazing. Okay, so for those of you, anybody who is listening to this or watching this and is guilty of dabbling in things that they probably shouldn't be,
Exactly.
or those who are actively interested but don't know where to start. Where you start every time, no matter where you are on your power level, if you are practicing anything, you start with your circle of protection. You start with your circle of protection. If you're doing a Ouija board, circle of protection. If you're doing a prayer, circle of protection. If you're doing a ritual, circle of protection. If you're out in a place where there is spiritual activity, circle of protection. Circle of protection. It's a ward, okay? When you start, when you begin a life of magic learning, whether you're a sorcerer, whether you're a magician, whether you're a wizard, it does not matter. You always start with your protective. Your protective
we didn't do that.
first.
That's why.
And that was your mistake. So,
sorry,
hold on. There's a lot of noise right now. Holy macaroni.
I was going to say, and make sure everybody is in that circle of protection.
And you don't break the circle.
Nope.
Do not break the circle under any circumstances. Okay, that's the worst. That's butterflies. I think that's you. Mute.
What is it?
No, it's me. I'm muting.
Oh, it's V? Oh, okay. All right. Nope, it's V. All right. Whenever you're practicing something, like if you are going to be, like, let's say you're a D&D character and you're going to practice your fireball spell. You're not just going to stand somewhere and practice your fireball spell. You don't want to catch anything on fire. You don't want to start an ecological disaster. What you do is you put up a circle of protection, and then you practice your fireball spell inside that circle. It's the same thing here in this reality. You have to put up your circle of protection. You have to call your watchtowers. Your watchtowers is there to witness you and to make sure that you don't screw up, because they know that you need practice. They know that you need what is the Marvel version, Doctor Strange, the realm of mirrors. Everybody needs a place to practice. And that's what your circle of protection is. That's why I had mine in tape on the floor. And it's a damn good thing I did. Because when you have it in that type of setting, it's permanent until you yourself remove it. And you can actively open it and close it. And that's another thing, too. If you're going to do Ouija board, if you're going to do pendulum, if you're going to talk to the dead, if you're going to talk to spirits, you cast your circle and you open the door. And then when you're done, you close the door. On a Ouija board, when you pick up the phone, when you pick up the analog phone, you don't leave it off the hook. You put it back on the hook. That is what that board is. It is a medium of communication. If you pick the receiver up, make sure you put the receiver back down again. And don't give me any crap about that Zozo demon. I don't want to hear it. Zozo is just interference. It's static on the phone line. That's all that is. It's not a real demon. I'm sorry. I needed to say that. I'm done now.
Yeah. Whenever I went through that, it was just crazy. Ever since then, I never messed with things like that ever again, because I was like scared it might happen again, and I don't want that. And I remember
that's what you took away from that. Because you said that you were divinely protected. You said angels came to protect you.
Yes, they did. I won't mess with them anymore. I won't mess with that stuff anymore. That's what I'm saying. I don't mess with the stuff anymore, with the pendants or anything like that. I don't do that anymore. I know I am protected. Yes. But I won't mess with that stuff anymore because I learned my lesson. I'm serious.
No, I believe you, but I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's not what I took away from that. What I took away from that experience is that, number one, you're divinely protective. Two, you didn't know what you were doing.
No.
But you made an attempt to try to learn.
Yeah.
It's not that this stuff is bad.
It wasn't. My friend was the one that was like, "Hey, let's play. Let's play with this. You just ask spirits and all that." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds like fun." And he's the one that moved the pendant, and all of us asked questions one at a time and stuff like that. And then it got bad. Very bad.
Oh, hi, Lady Mist. Wow.
Hello,
I'm
Lady
glad you're
Miss.
Hi, old media guy. And we got Cronus and Bone and Lady Mist here. Jeff
Yep.
B's also here. Sorry, we were heavily in this discussion, but I've been
Yeah.
trying to keep up with the chat. I just wanted to make sure that everybody gets acknowledged. We're here with Kaythia Star and Butterflies, and we're just talking about our experiences.
Yep.
And
Cronus, what is a lady
the
miss?
bottom line here is as long as you take precautions, okay, the correct precautions, there's
Right.
nothing wrong with pursuing the occult. I mean, even
Yeah,
King
but
Solomon had demons in a jar, for crying out loud. He had 72 or 78 demons in a jar, okay, that he could pull out at any time and command with. He was a magician. That's what they do. That's what warlocks do. But the thing is you have to learn as you go. And the only way that you're going to do that is by asking, and the only way you're going to do that is by doing. Now, obviously, I'm not going to tell you to run out to your local herbal shop, pick up some demon's claw, and go at it with the first demon you come in contact with.
no.
Obviously, that is not. There are things that need to be taken step by step. And no, you do not have to join some dumbass cult. You don't have to do any of that stuff. The first thing you do to learn all this stuff is read. Just read. Don't do anything. Just read a whole lot of books. Seriously, don't do anything. Don't cast, don't call, don't pray. Just read books. I mean, I know about, biolocation and paranormal activity and astral projection. Let's see what else. The biolocation, dual location. Did you know that you could be in two places at the same time, my friends? That has
Yes.
also happened. All of
What?
this amazing you
Oh
can be in
yeah.
two places at the same time. Absolutely 100%.
Didn't know that.
All of this stuff is possible. All of this stuff is true. Okay. But first, you have to read. I was exposed to a very early age to my local library. That's where I went. And you know what? You know what I read? My first I don't know, what do you call it? Paranormal Supernatural 101 class were those Time Life books that you saw on TV back in the 80s. V, tell me you remember those, man.
Oh yeah. And also let me interject. With all you're getting, get understanding
Well,
on
that's
what
what
you're
you're doing when
reading.
you're reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but a lot. Oh, I read it, so I know it. No, 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 no.
No, no,
And
no.
all you're getting, get understanding and wisdom before you do anything. Because remember, it's no joke. It's just no joke.
Yeah. Your best bet is just to keep reading
Mhm.
until you get guidance from a higher teacher. That's what I did.
Right.
I mean,
Mhm.
you read it, you read about it, you read about it, you read about it, and you just keep reading about it because it's fun to read about. Because you're not just reading about, all the astrological stuff. You're also reading about, you're reading about paranormal activity. You're reading about all those ghost stories. You're watching all of those ghost stories. Every single one of those stories has a grain of truth. And the next thing you know, you're baking yourself a loaf of bread. But, but in here, okay,
Have you heard
somebody
of
else
this
has to come
guy?
and tell you.
Um,
Oh
here,
yeah, I've seen him all over YouTube. Yeah, me too. I was
Michael
wondering about.
Hesser.
Yeah, I was wondering about him. I haven't had a chance to check him out yet. He's very much like what? Oh, there was a show like that in the 80s. It was like aliens, ancestors, and angels or something like that. It was a show. And they talked about it on like the same type of kind of theme forum that. Hold on.
I think she's going to look it up.
Yeah. Cool. So, old media guy. This sounds very, very interesting. Sightings. Good one. Bones got it. Sightings. Kaythia. I remember sightings. Yeah. Was that in the 80s? Damn, it seems like that was later. But who knows? I graduated in 1980. I was too busy behind a 7-Eleven at 420. Sorry. Going to college. You've never had a sighting. We've
Chrono. Meow.
Oh, not for nothing, but I did throw up a video of Luna, Darth and Butterfly's cat, watching Tom and Jerry today. It was funny. Bone is a cat. Maybe 90s.
My thing is
Dying. We'll be on over an hour. Maybe 90s, yeah. I remember sightings. Saw a couple of sightings
Well,
myself.
since we're waiting for Kaythia, we should tell another story.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let me mute because we're too close.
When I went through, whenever we moved a lot, and whenever my dad decided that final place that we decided to have, it was haunted too. Well, just say that, I remember one time, it was summertime. We all went swimming, have fun, you know what I mean? And Darth Haster asked me after swimming was done, whatever. Darth Haster asked me, "Do you want to come to his place, or do you want to stop at your house, or something like that?" And I said, "Well, I'll stop at my house so I could go change." Well, he said, "Okay." So I went down there so I got dropped off, and I walked in the house. I was there by myself, and so I decided to go upstairs and change, and I went back downstairs. And whenever I went down the stairs, our dog was staring at the chair, and I looked at my dog, and I'm like, "What are you looking at?" And
Hold on, butterflies, real fast. Hold on. I just wanted to say goodbye to old media guy. Thank you. And you be protected in the name of Jesus yourself. So be it.
Yes. And when my dog was looking at the love chair, next thing I knew, the love chair scooted across the floor, and I was freaking out. My dog was barking, and barking, and I looked at my dog, and I'm like, calm down, and I was freaking out for a minute, and then my dog looked up where the staircase is, and I looked up, and I saw solid little boy looking at me. And I looked at him, and I said, "What are you doing in my house?" And I looked, and he went upstairs, and I went after him. And I looked everywhere. He disappeared. And I went down the stairs, and I checked the lock. The door was locked. And the next minute I knew, that chair scooted one more time. I was like, "That's it. I am done here. I'm here by myself. I'm done." So I literally left the door open, ran out, went auto clear up to Darth Haster's house, and I told him everything. I was freaking out and everything. And then I get a call from my brother saying that I left the door open. And he was wondering what's going on, because the love chair was scooted on the other side, and he was wondering if somebody was broken in the house or something. And I had to explain to him what happened. And they was like, okay. So that was my experience.
Sorry, y'all. I had mine was my daughter came home with some furniture.
Oh, Lord.
My experience was not paranormal. It was real.
So Bone
There
was
was some
saying if the show was called Sightings.
that was one of the shows, but that one
Cronus wants
you
to
know
know.
what? It
Love
may
seat, love
have
seat,
been.
Cronus.
No, it,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
it
what
may have been because it also talked about near death experiences as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it could have been one of the shows. But really early on in the 80s that was very popular. I mean, it was even that type of show is what starts off Ghostbusters, I believe. When was it Bill Murray is on the show and he's a host. Oh wait, is that number 2? It could have been Ghostbusters 2 that was about. But that's pretty much the what I was talking about is that was a very popular type of show before talk shows came around. It was the first kind of talk show, I think.
Yeah, because didn't they interview people?
Yes, they had regular guests on all the time, like
Yeah.
you know, all kinds of people.
And Cronus says, I like this. Real life is scarier than ghosts.
Well,
So
yes,
true.
Exactly.
True.
So true.
True. So Kaythia, what do you think? I've been all these stories I'm telling you that I've been through. I've been through a lot.
Yeah. No, I believe you. Bottom line here is, and this is what I think, honestly, this is what any psychologist would say, I think. Regardless of whether other people believe in them or not, you do. For you, that is your reality. There's nothing wrong with believing in these in these things that are happening. It doesn't matter because for you it is real, and that is the important part. How we process these certain things individually, because there are things that we each experience that aren't experienced by other people. For example, I'm sure those who are in attendance know about an EVP, an electronic voice phenomenon. These things can happen to groups or they can happen to individual people. We've seen documentable evidence on camera, live, of somebody going, hey, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And then their buddies going, what the hell are you talking about? And then later on, you can hear it in the camera, or later on, you can hear it on the recorder, but nobody else heard it. Or sometimes that not even that, just that one person heard it the one time, and then that was it. Nothing on the camera, nothing on the recorder, and nothing from anybody else. That does not mean that it didn't happen. It just means that it happened to that one particular individual. And there's no reason for us to discredit or discount the experience of another person. There's just no reason for it.
No.
Yeah. So did it happen? Yes, it did. Do I believe you? Yes, I do believe you. I believe you as a believer. I also believe you as a non-believer, as in my ego, in my logical sense. I mean, if we take out the whole idea of spirituality from this particular conversation, and we talk about logic, we talk about science, it's still logical. There are things that we still cannot explain that happen in nature naturally that we perceive now as paranormal, supernatural, or magical. It's a fact, because we don't have the words, or we don't have the science to back it up yet. So it's still, I still believe you. So regardless of which platform I come at you with, I still believe you. And even if I were an atheist, which I cannot be because of my experiences, I would still believe you, because I don't believe in atheists. I just don't. These are people, this is my opinion, and yeah, I'm going to be stepping on some toes. Atheists are people who can't handle the fact that there is another layer that they can't see. They just can't handle it, so they completely disregard it. Personally, I find atheists to be stubborn, boring, and depressing.
Yep.
Sorry, atheists, but I've met some, and
Well,
they
have you
are.
ever heard the joke about the atheist? Well, I don't believe in God, and God says, well, that's okay, because I don't believe in atheists.
Yep.
It's just boring.
Right.
I mean, it's boring. It's boring. This is it. This is it. This is all we've got. This.
Yeah.
Boring. Boring.
Right.
It's just so damn boring.
It's weird too. And I just made this comment because Cronus said that Butterflies was freaking out because their avatar was going in and out. I'm like, nah, we don't freak out. And then I'm like, I think that they freak out that we don't freak out. That they want, because we know that we're divinely protected. So I don't freak out. I'm just like, what do you, I did. Now I've gotten to the point where I turn around, what the fuck do you want? Can I help you? All right, then move along.
Yeah.
What do you want? Do you want something from me? Is there something I can do for you? What are you here for? And when you turn around, it's like facing your fear. Okay, in a way, if that's how I don't know. You know me, I don't explain things well. It's in my head, but it doesn't come out of my mouth well. But I could write it really good. So, but it's true. Because at first it was like, fuck, what the fuck was that? Shit, did you see that? Did you hear that? Am I going blah 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 blah? And then all of a sudden one day I just turned around and said, what the fuck do you want? And it was like startled. And it was just like, well, and there was nothing. It just kind of like stood there and stared at me. I'm like, can I help you with something? Well, I just don't want you to leave me. I'm just like, whoa, well, who are you? And it was just one of my shadows. It was just one of my shadows from the past of something that I didn't deal with. And they thought that I was going to leave them behind. And it was just like, no, come on. I was the little 3-year-old girl that was scared, and it's just weird. It's just weird. Since I've been doing a lot of that shadow work, just stuff has been a lot easier.
That's a good question, V. Is our projections, the ones that we know we are projecting, are they paranormal or are they supernatural?
Right. That's
a very good question. Huh. That would require some deep meditation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can become demons if left, if abandoned and left alone.
Right.
So,
well, wouldn't you be? Look, if you left a 3-year-old little girl on her own, what would happen? Your house would be
she would become
destroyed.
Feral. Yeah, she'd become feral. That we already know that's what happened. There's documentable cases of that.
Right.
And you cannot bring those children back into civilization. They die.
No. So if everybody's been telling you, oh, forget your past, forget your past.
Oh, no.
No, embrace your past, embrace your fears, because they're part of you. I'm telling you, I've become more whole embracing the shit that I've been running away from and saying, oh, back you demons, cast you out. No, how do you cast your own damn self out?
I don't know. I've put up with my mother saying that bullshit. She uses it as an excuse so that she doesn't have to deal with the
Ooh.
shit that she's done. Well, that's just the past. Why can't you just let that go? That's the past. That's water under the bridge. That's gone. Why are you, oh, that's, and she would pull shit on me from like 5 minutes prior. She'd say something,
Right.
and then I'd be like, okay, well, you just said that. Well, that's the past. I said that was 5 minutes ago. Why can't you just let it go? Because now I know that you're using that to gaslight me. And now I know you're just full of shit. That's the difference. Now I keep calling you on it. You don't want me to call you on it. You don't want me to show you the shadow to deal with it. It's been 60 years. Don't you think you should deal with that by now? Do you seriously think this won't follow you in beyond your death? What do you think hell is? This is a place that God sends you for your punishment? No, motherfucker, you make this your own hell. You make your own hell. If that's true, I'm not going to be responsible for making my own hell. I'm going to deal with my shit now. That way it does not follow me into the next life. It does not follow me into death, and it does not torture me on the other side. I'm going with a clear conscience because that's exactly what it is.
Right.
It's
And
about
if there's reincarnation, the fuck if I want to repeat this shit again. I think I've done my time. I mean, that's the way I feel.
I agree that I wouldn't want to repeat it. I don't believe in reincarnation, but I do believe in regeneration. But that shit follows you.
Yeah.
It follows you. Because what did I talk about? I've talked about numinous energies. That's not just for gods. That's for humans too. These numinous energies will follow you. So that demon that you're running away from, that demon that you're scared of, that demon that you were born with, that's your demon. Congratulations.
Oh, that was evil.
I know it was evil.
Funny
and it was on camera.
It was funny as shit, though.
So that I could make sure that particular person knows that I'm talking about him. I want that to be very clear. That's your demon that you have not dealt with.
Well, I'll say this. Everybody have to deal with something in their lives every day. Doesn't matter what it is or whatever. But I gotta say this. Please don't take it as a wrong way. But to me, this is how I would say. Everybody think negative all the time about their lives and everything. Just stop. Just think positive. That's what I do. I try my best to think positive and not think about my past. Yes, I think about my past sometimes and I break down and cry sometimes, yes. But I will continue to think positive and love others because that's the way I am.
Well, loving your darker self, isn't that positive? I mean, I get more done with me and myself by embracing my darkness rather than rejecting it. There's no war within me. There is no unhappiness within me against myself. I understand that I have these negative things and I deal with them and I bring them in closer because they're part of me. They teach me about me. If I get triggered about this or I get triggered about that, or I'm sad about this or I'm sad about that, those are all parts of me. My shadow is me and I love me. So why wouldn't I not love my shadow? Why would I not love my demon? My demon protects me. When I keep her in balance, when she's happy, when she feels accepted, when she feels love, when she doesn't feel abandoned or cast away, that's when she becomes my ally. And that is a positive way of looking at it. Because there's nothing more positive than love.
I just really hate that word demon.
It's
really.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
For lack of better wordage, I mean, because there is a difference between your own shadow and your own demon. There is a difference. Okay. And I love both of them. Why would I not? They're me. I can't love somebody else's demon if I don't love my own. I mean, that's why I can't be... Never mind. I don't want to bring it up again.
In life, I understand that. In life, I understand that, yes, we make mistakes. Yes, we do stupid stuff sometimes. And yes, all that, but you can make choices to make it better for yourself and for you. I mean, if you make a good choice and a bad choice, that's up to you. I mean, a good choice is, do all that. But if you keep on repeating what you're doing and you're miserable with the rest of your life because of it, well, that's your fault, because you're not changing of what the situation is. You know what I mean?
And yeah, and then you leave behind that energy, because that energy is repeated.
Yes.
What happens when you take a hammer and you bash it into the same spot over and over again? You leave an imprint.
Yeah.
When you walk the same path every single day, you leave an imprint in the path. And that's with the paranormal. You get a lot of that residual energy running around, and it is an echo. It is literally, and you leave your own echo behind, and it's a projection of you. So that being said, if you're going to leave anything of yourself behind.
Yeah. Like, I understand what you're saying. I really do. It's just, like I said, I just don't understand. I don't understand about other people. Like, I know they're fighting their own demons. Yes, I know I know you're miserable and all that, but how are you going to do it to change that? Think about it. How are you going to change of what yourself is and make it better?
Well, that's what your shadow is there for.
Yeah. And not only that, nobody cannot change what you want to change, because seriously, you ask somebody, hey, can you change this? They cannot change it for you. You got to do it for yourself. You got to change it for yourself.
That's true. But this is a paranormal stream, B.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
And you can't change the pattern behavior of a residual energy.
Yes.
It is that way, and it will remain so until it's done. And that is a numinous energy, is exactly what that is. A residual energy is very much like a numinous energy. It's a repeating behavior pattern that is natural, not unnatural. Humans have the ability to repeat natural behavior patterns. Okay. And that creates numinous energy. Okay. Then there is the behavior patterns that are unnatural. They're totally based on human choices, nothing more than that. And that's residual. That's residual energy. Residual energy can fade out. Numinous energy never goes away. It's immortal. It rises and falls. It rises and falls. As far as paranormal is concerned, there is a there can be sentient remains. These people are fearful, they're insecure, and usually it's backed up by a lower energy of motivation, which is the reason why we have a lot of residual energy, sentient. I would call it, you know what I would call it? I would call it sentient residual energy from the action of taking life. Whether it's your own or somebody else's. Usually, broadly speaking, statistically, you get a lot more paranormal activity from suicides than you do anything else.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why.
Vsar, you got any stories? You there? Is she still in the bathroom?
No, I was typing in the chat.
Oh,
I was saying how I prefer to call them my shadows, my traumas of the past. They're part of me. When I embrace them, I'm embracing myself. But now my shadows, i.e. demons, are different than evil entities. Okay? There is a difference in my realm. There are evil entities out there that are not mine.
Mm-hmm.
That I have no clue about. I don't know if that's other projections or other people's stuff that I've picked up on. I mean, I don't know. So I'm going to leave it at that I don't know. But yeah, I've seen lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Lots of unsettling. I'm more of a hearer than I am a seer. I've just started to see stuff like more and more lately. But my son was the seer more, and I would hear, like I could hear people talking in that are here but not here, like it almost like a parallel universe. So I don't know if that would be paranormal or supernatural. I guess that would be
V, that's called
supernatural.
clairaudient. That's called clairaudience. And your son has
Okay.
clairvoyance.
Voyance, yes. And I've just started to, since lately, see more and more of what I'm hearing. And like I said, I think I needed to hear first before I saw, because I think if I saw first, I'd be in the mental ward. Because like I said, what I see, I mean, they're quite different. They're not like, I couldn't even explain. I couldn't draw you a picture. I couldn't I couldn't tell you, because they're so friggin' unexplainable. But I could hear them, and I know that they don't mean any harm, and they're kind of like almost scared to show themselves because they are so different that they are scary. But I'm not scared, and they're everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere.
Well, that's the normal monkey reaction, V. I mean, they're so
Right.
used to getting the same type of, I mean, that's why there's a lot of instances in which I run into these poor little scared shadow people. They want to be heard, they want to be loved, they want to be seen so bad, but they're so afraid of these. Number one, they're afraid. Yes, it's religious rejection. They don't even give them a chance. I mean, there's just no chance there. It's, oh my God, get away from me in the name of Jesus.
It's something different. It's because it's
ridiculous.
Something different.
Exactly. And then the second
don't get me wrong, because there's some evil entities out there that are no bueno.
That is true.
Stuff like that too. They would whisper in my ears, and I tell my mom about it. My mom says, "Please, please, please, please ignore them. They are no good." Like my mom knew, and I
it's like a blanket thing.
I ignore them because my mom said that there were the same whispers that did to my mom, and my mom got really bad. Not herself anymore. She went to the mental hospital because of it. And
there was a lot of people that ended up in a mental hospital because of their spirituality before,
Oh, yeah. So that's
because
why Go ahead.
Because nobody understands. Seriously, nobody understands. I mean, when you sit there and say, no, they're not going to harm me, your spirit knows what is good and what is wrong. Your soul knows.
That's what they always says. Check your spirits. Check the spirits. See if they're good spirits or the bad spirits.
Yes,
And
didn't Rene, it was Rene Descartes who said that the first step to understanding is forgetting everything that you've been taught before.
taught. Because
And
when
that's
we were
basically
little,
what's going on here. We're taught one way.
right?
And this is not the way. This was
Right.
never the way. This was only brought on by an oppressive, monopolizing
Right.
church. That's where this
And
came
there's a
from.
really great saying too. At least you come like little children. You have to become like little children, aren't afraid of really anything. They're afraid of what is scary, okay, but they're not afraid of scary things.
They're not afraid of
Different.
scary things. No,
They're
I
afraid
agree
of
with you.
things that are there to harm them. That's what it means to check your spirit. Like, okay, what do you want? What is your mission? They have to tell you. It's the law of the universe. We have to obey certain laws. They're out there and they are unchangeable.
Yeah. Well, the second type of person that these entities have to deal with are and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's oh, hello. We're not here to hurt you. We just want proof of life after death. The thing is they're not dead. If they were dead, they would have crossed over. They have not crossed over, thus they are not dead. You can't be dead unless you cross the damn river. If you not cross the river, you're not dead. Just because you're not in a physical form doesn't mean you're not alive. Was it, I think, therefore I am.
Right.
If your entity has enough sentience to respond to you in real time and answer your real questions, this is not proof of life beyond death. This is only proof of living energy. They don't know what's beyond the river because they haven't been there. And so they have to endure the incessant fucking questions. When did you die? How did you die? How can we help you move on? Well, did it ever occur to you that they don't want help moving on, that they're here for a reason? There's only so many times you can be exorcised before finally somebody's got to give in and say, well, you know what? We've tried to exorcise you. We've used 300 different gods. We used 5 different types of smudging sticks, and we've prayed for 100 days, and you're still not gone. You're probably supposed to be here.
Cronus, I have to cross a river? Screw that.
Well, that's what you pay the ferryman for, silly.
That's right. It's okay. They play sticks on that river. Ah.
Oh, V.
Hey, look, Jeff typed it first. River Styx, good band.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was my.
No, but they knew what I was talking about. So
yeah.
All right,
funny.
but y'all get my point. See, if you don't want to cross a river, and you don't want to go across a bridge, you can always have Sigyn bear you across. But you're gonna have to ask Loki first.
Oh, jeez.
You're gonna have to be cremated. So yeah, that's the only way to avoid that. Water or fire, take your pick.
I'm going by fire.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want them to try to bring me back again. I'm going by fire. That way they can't find my bones and try to re fucking whatever me. Try to bring me back again. I'm about done. I'm just kidding. That's a good story.
I would have been buried.
Remember, hello, visual storyteller. Hello. That's a good story. Have to keep bringing me back.
Once
Dun,
upon a
dun,
time,
dun,
there was
dun.
a girl named Alice, and she crossed the river. Oh, you know what happened?
Huh.
2 monsters jump up and try to kill her. She runs,
Run, Venus, run!
and she made it to the other side. The end.
The end. I know. Well, this has been awesome. We're going on 2 hours. Yeah, I see what you started. See what you started. It's all Cronus's fault.
There she goes.
Oh,
There she goes again. Running through my brain.
Oh my.
Tired of running through that empty thing.
Oh,
Knock it off,
gee, thanks
Ernie.
a lot.
No, I'm talking to Ernie. And his empty brain. Just go medicate.
Meditate. Hey, there's a words to live by.
Right? There's only a few letters separating the two, if you know what I mean. I'm heavily meditating today, y'all. That's what it is.
Oh my gosh.
We're so wrong in the right ways. Yeah, Cronus is a hoot.
Yeah.
He has his own mental ward too.
Here we go again.
And
We're talking about the paranormal stuff. Oh,
and this has been Paranormal Sundays, brought to you by
Fish.
Star, Butterflies, and Kaythia Star. By Fish. What the flip? By Lasagna.
Oh no, I don't want to talk about lasagna.
What are we gonna do with that thing?
Throw up. Seriously.
Oh my god, there's so much lasagna. I don't even know. What are we gonna? It's not gonna fit in the fridge.
Oh god.
I think you're all wrong. I think this episode has been brought to you by the letters E, V, and P.
E, V, and P.
Yeah.
Eternal Mother Power.
Electronic voice phenomena. Because I'm a phenomena, we're on electronic devices, and you can hear my voice. EVP.
Okay, Cronus, I'd rather you be a raven. Cronus, you're my raven.
If I ever want to be an animal, do you know what I want to be? I want to be a white
butterfly.
See,
tiger.
look, Lady Miss says it too. A raven. See,
a butterfly is not an animal. That's an insect.
It's still in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
What? Insects are not.
Yes,
are
they
an
are.
albino?
Of course
Cronus
they are.
Is my albino raven. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Nevermore.
I'm kind of confused on that one, but okay.
Forevermore.
Insects are in the animal kingdom. They are animals.
Yeah. They went on the yacht. I mean, Ark.
Oh my.
Hey. All it said is one of every animal. And that was way before animals evolved into lots of animals. Think about it.
Two of every animal. That's why we don't have the unicorn.
I know.
Because the unicorn didn't make it.
And unicorn was too sparkly.
No,
and we had these sparkly people on there that did not like sparkles.
I believe there is unicorns in this world because you know why? Because I believe they did not make it to the ark.
Well, no, there are real unicorns. They're just not horses. They're deer. They have one horn. Because if you go back in art, if you look at art and you continue to go backwards, they didn't. The unicorns were never horses. They were deer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There is a mutation. There is a unicorn in Italy right now. It is a mutation of a deer. It's where their horns grow in the middle. It's a mutation. They're very special endangered creatures. It's the same thing with a white buffalo calf. White buffaloes are incredibly sacred. Only one is born every now and again, but they are real.
No, sweetie, I'm not horny, dear. Thank you.
Jeff B, really? Unicorns must be tasty? Really?
Ah!
No! Oh my gosh, guys, stop. You're ruining my freaking
I know. I should have brought you the
images
sparkly
of
unicorn shower curtain. She
beautiful
needs the spark.
unicorns that are sparkly and pretty and
Well, they do
majestic.
sell cans of unicorn meat. That is a thing.
Goodness gracious, no, I'm not hearing this crap. I'm out.
What is that? Narwhals.
Oh, come on. Everybody knows what a narwhal is.
Well, obviously not
Narwhals,
everybody, because I don't.
It's like a narwhal. It's like a whale.
It's like a whale with a sword on its nose.
Except it
With a
has
sword
like
as its nose.
unicorn mainly, except it's a whale.
See, this unicorn, is it sparkly?
No. Well, when
It
the
shimmers
water
in
hits
the water.
it just right, it's
Yeah. See?
But what is the
sparkly.
real difference between a shimmer and a sparkle, though? Shimmer, sparkle, and a glitter.
Wackadoos.
Unicorns are beautiful. Yes, they are. I'm telling you that right now. They are beautiful. Seahorses are beautiful.
I love seahorses.
I love manatees.
The men get pregnant there.
Yeah, why can't these men get pregnant here?
They couldn't handle it. I love the manatees.
No, they couldn't.
I love down in Florida. The manatees.
Manatees are said to be mermaids.
I know. I know that.
Okay, we're supposed to be talking about paranormal. I think this is supernatural, but I'm not sure. Or it could be cryptology.
Yeah,
cryptoids,
we're off.
Yeah,
we're
that's
having
different.
fun now.
Oh, okay. Right.
Now we're having fun. We're on 2 hours.
Okay.
Do you
so
guys
now we're into cryptoids?
Do you guys ever heard of like legends of like a Windigo? Like let's see here. Myths like
I can't believe Dart's sleeping through this whole thing.
Jersey Devil, all that.
Ooh, I love those stories. Those are cryptoids. The Mothman, the Jersey Devil, Sasquatch, Chupacabra, which we all know now is real. Chupacabra is real, everybody. Yes, congratulations. We are in the 21st century.
What do you mean?
Let's see, what else?
They found one? They found one?
Of course they did.
Yeah.
They found one, yes. It's real.
Yeah. Yeah, the goat sucker is definitely a real thing. It's a hybrid between a dog and a coyote, I think.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, something like a dog. Yeah. That they have trouble with their teeth. And that's why the blood is always gone. Is because their mouths
the blood out.
Charmed
had Wendigos. Okay.
Oh yeah, Wendigos are creepy. I've seen one. Just bad. Just bad, just all the badness. And skin changers, they're in Nevada. It's not a cryptoid.
Shapeshifters?
Shapeshifters?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. That's what Wendigos are?
Wait, shapeshifters or skin changers?
Wendigo.
Yeah,
wait. No. Wendigos are demons.
Witches that change? That's what I thought. That's what I thought they were.
No, Wendigos are nasty demons. They're nasty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. No eating dolphins.
Motherfuckers, if you think you're going to eat a fucking dolphin and rebrand me, I will hurt you.
Don't make butterflies will go off.
I love
Skinwalkers.
I love animals.
Skinwalkers. Yes, Bone. Thank you.
Okay, so what is Skinwalker?
Skinwalker is a Native American myth. It comes out of Nevada. They change. The skinwalkers change. They can change from human to bear, wolf, coyote.
They're the shapeshifters. Skinwalkers.
Not shapeshifters. Skinwalkers, shapeshifters, and skin changers. There is a difference. Oh shit! What is? Hold on, I'm thinking hard now. You guys have got my gears rolling. Something fierce today. Stephen King even made a story out of one kind of skin changer, and it had to do with cats.
Yes.
Skinwalkers.
I think it
But
was.
it
Help
does
us
have
out,
its
chat.
roots in Egypt. Skin changers, their insides aren't changed. It's just their outsides. So they can be in animal form and they can speak human languages. They can be human. Okay? That's what a skin changer is.
They would speak as your loved ones.
What?
Yeah, I think so. They speak as your loved ones to lure you in.
No, that's something different. That's a hyena.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Absolutely 100% positive.
I swore that I read something about that. They
About hyenas specifically. Yes,
they lure
hyenas.
you in.
Yes, hyenas. That's the African myth about hyenas. So you're not wrong. You're skipping into other things.
I'm kind of confused here because I thought it was a Skinwalker or Indigo. I don't remember.
Ow.
Okay, no. A skin changer can be and speak human languages and think on a human level, even if they're in an animal form. Okay, that's a skin changer. A skin walker is specific to Native Americans. Okay, so ask a Native American.
Okay.
The third one, which is a shape shifter, is very similar to lycanthropy in that when the shifter shifts the shape, the intelligence does not transfer. Do you understand that?
So you just turn into the shape, but you're still a walking derp, as Cronus would put it.
No, if a shapeshifter turns into a cat, it walks and thinks and talks like a cat. It's a cat. It's a cat. Okay. There's a cat.
Okay.
If it's a skin changer, that cat can talk like a person can. It can say,
gotcha.
"Hello, V. How are you? I'm a cat right now."
Gotcha.
It can also do math and can tell you about things like stars and stuff. Okay, that's the difference between the three.
Gotcha.
Are we all tracking?
Interesting. We're tracking. We got to be.
Somebody wake up Darth.
No, I can't believe he's sleeping. No, he's in lasagna coma.
Yes, skin changers.
It's called
vampires and werewolves.
Shifter.
Werewolves are very much like shapeshifters, except they're lycanthrope. It's a disease and it's affected by the moon. Whereas shapeshifters aren't affected by the moon. They can shift whenever they want to. Yeah. Like I said, the difference between a shapeshifter and a skin changer is what I said.
Okay.
That's the reason why, Bjorn in Tolkien, when he turned into a bear, he thought like a bear. He walked like a bear. He was a bear. There was nothing of Bjorn there. But when Bjorn changed back into his mortal form, he could talk. He could be rational. He knew what was going on. If he was a shapeshifter, they would be able to talk to him, and he could talk back. But that's not what Bjorn was. He was a skin changer. Wait, did I get that? Did I get tongue-tied and get that back and forth?
I'm lost. I just know if a cat comes up to me and does math, I'm just saying, have at it, cat. Because I don't like math. Do my math for me. Where were you in algebra class? Damn it.
Well, that's why there was that rush on witches and cats. Is because supposedly all witches were skin changers.
They were just beer makers.
Yeah, they were. Well, yes, that is true. They were beer makers and they were medicine makers.
Mm-hmm. That's how the myth with the broom and the hat and they would give the men the ale at the gentleman's club, and they knew if the broom was turned a certain way that the beer was ready, and the black cat or the cats were to ward off the mice. Yeah, the whole myth about the.
I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, I said beer. That's all Cronus needed to hear. Yay, bear.
Yeah, it is a skinwalker. This type of they are killing of close family members, most often siblings. Once they were shape-shifting one way, the others would tell they were not a real animal. Wow.
That's what it said on the Oracle of Google?
It says Skinwalker, hold on. Legends of America Skinwalker. Which is, it says in a Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into poses and disguise themselves as animals.
The word is Navajo, honey.
Navajo. She's learning.
I know.
By the
Navajo.
Yeah, which translates to with it. He goes on all fours. It is just one of several types of Navajo, which is considered the most violent and dangerous. For the Navajo people, witchcraft is another part of their spirituality and one of the ways of their lives. As such as witchcraft has long been part of their culture, history, and traditions. Witches existed alongside humans are not spirituals. The Navajos believe they are places where the powers of both good and evil are present, and that those powers can be harnessed for either medicine. Man utilize these powers to heal and aid members of their communities, while those who practice Navajo witchcraft seek to direct the spiritual forces to cause harm or metaphoric. Yeah. The type of Navajo witchcraft is known as the witchery race, which use human corpses in various ways, such as tools from the bones and
Caucasus?
No.
Yeah.
How do you say that? Caucasus? Is that right?
It's CONCOCTIONS.
Conscientious.
Yeah.
Conscientious.
Conscientious.
Oh, okay. That are used to hurt, harm, or kill intended victims. Wow.
I don't believe that for a second.
That's what it says.
I know that's what it says, but I don't believe they're as evil as they're portrayed to be. I think that they are as dangerous as they want to be. I think that that's a little bit of propaganda to keep them safe. And as far as using limbs of the dead, well, you know what? That's how dwarves were created. So what's a little bit of necromancy? Right. Just a little bit. As long as they're dead, they don't need it.
Yeah.
They don't, I don't know.
There's another one about Windigo. You want to hear about this?
Well, I already know, so you guys can educate yourselves.
Okay.
Is right? That's the way you learn.
A mythological creature or evil spirit, which is organites from the folklore of First Nation based in and around the East Coast forests of Canada, the Great Plains origin of the United States, and the Great Lake origin of the United States and Canada, grouped in modern ethology as speakers of, I don't know that big word, family languages. The Windigo is often said to be malevolent spirit, sometimes dispatched as creatures with human-like characters, with poses human beings. The Windigo is known as involved feeling of insatiable greed, hunger, the desire to cannibalize other humans, as well as propensity to commit murder in those that fall under its influence.
That is correct.
Which
is the reason why if there is a Native an American community, and they believe that their death is imminent. Say, for example, if they are going to starve to death, they will kill each other first. They will not allow themselves to starve to death, because that's how Wendigos are created. If you look up the lore of the Donner Party, you will find a lot of information about Wendigos, and you're in Native America. If you eat of a human, you are not human anymore. It doesn't matter about emergencies or not. You die first before you eat people. You just don't do it.
Well, mainly they are mainly as giant humanoids with a heart of ice, basically, and they are their suspicion is about werewolves. For example, I mentioned as the Jesuit religions below, whatever that is. Hollywood film did a human beast hybrid featured antlers or horns with Windigo name, but such as animal features do not appear in original indigenous story. Wow, I did not know that they made a movie out of a Wendigo.
Yeah, and it's wrong. Don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. The Wendigo, the most commonly cited Wendigo, or I should say Wendigos, because there are multiple ones, are up there at the boulder at the Donner Pass, where the people got stuck there in the winter. And if you are there for too long, and the conditions are correct, you can hear the Wendigos, and those ones are hunger Wendigos, and they are identified by chattering teeth.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they have. Go ahead. I'm sorry, B.
They're also cursed by the ingestion of fatty meats.
Ingestion of fatty meats. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Wendigos come from greed or hunger. We're talking about like really low basic, basically the lowest of the rung of the Maslow's of hierarchy of needs. Okay. Heat, shelter, food, and water. If you are denied these four things, and you do whatever is necessary to get them so that you can survive, that is what makes your spirit into a Wendigo. These are man-made. These are created. That's the reason why, like I said, Native American tribes, Native American communities, way back in the day, if they thought that there was any kind of starvation that was going to happen, like at the Donner Pass, they would have killed each other first. They would not have starved to death. And they would have, what is that? Harry-carry? Is that the word for it? Where this ritual suicide? They would have one, either the chief or one of the braves go around and kill each other, and then he would commit a ritual suicide to save themselves from becoming Wendigos. Yes. And it usually happened during the winter. That's why they're so malevolent.
I believe the self-suicide is seppuku and harakiri.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Darth.
Yeah, that's and also it says here where did it go?
Seppuku. That's it. Thanks, Jeff. Sorry, B. Go ahead.
I said seppuku.
FOLP lore. Folklore. There is a thingy with this. There is a story about it. It says one time long ago, a big Wendigo saw an Indian boy, but the boy was too thin, so the Wendigo didn't eat him up right away. But he traveled with the Indian boy, waiting for him till he'll get fat. The Wendigo had a knife, and he'll cut the boy in the hand to see if he was fat enough to eat. But the boy didn't get fat. They traveled too much. One day they came to an Indian village, and the Windigo sent to the boy to the Indian village to get some things for him to eat. He just gave the boy so much time to go there and back. The boy told the Indians that the Windigo was near them and showed them his hand where the Windigo cut him to see if he was fat enough to eat. They heard the Windigo calling the boy. He said to the boy, "Hurry up. Don't tell lies to those Indians." All of these Indians went to where the Windigo was and cut off his legs. They went back again to see if he was dead. He wasn't dead. He was eating the juice marrow from the inside of the bones of his legs that were cut off. The Indians asked the Windigo if there was any fat on them. He said, "You bet there is. I have eaten lots of Indians. No wonder they are fat." The Indians then killed him and cut him to pieces. The end of Giant Windigo. Wow.
That's also a warning story too, because even in Native America, your sacrifices of food is bones and fat. So if you keep them for yourself, if you keep the bones and the fat for yourself, you're keeping the what you're supposed to give to the gods.
Wow. So it's mainly by greed and overpowered by the greed, and they turn into indigos, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's why they're so malevolent, because they'll do anything to get what they want. It's definitely a greed demon for sure.
Windigos were created by human resorted to cannibalism to survive. Humans were also turned into Windigos by being in contact with them for too long. Wow.
I'm not too sure about that one. Yeah, well, sometimes it says something that's wrong.
Oh, I guess so.
It depends.
No, there is one magical creature that I've been telling you about that speaks like your loved one to lure you in, but I don't.
That's a hyena.
No,
it's not a hyena.
No, it was something. Oh my gosh, I trying to. It mimics, yes. That's what it is.
A mimic is an ability. It's an ability that can be used by multiple entities, It's not one specific thing. It's an ability.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is war hyenas.
More specifically, it's lycanthropy hyenas.
Like a were hyena.
It's a war hyena. Yeah, that's what it is. You're right. Oh my gosh. It was bugging me.
How long have I been in this business?
Yeah, Darth knows these things more than I do, and I'm so confused. Like, I can't remember what it was called.
It's okay. Darth and I have to know these things because we run D&D games. Do you know how many D&D games come out of these paranormal stories and these supernatural stories? Tons of modules have been made out of them. That's the reason why Darth and I know so much, is because we're DMs. We're game masters. We have to know this stuff. We have to know what are traits and abilities, what can be used, why is there a difference between skin changers, shapeshifters, and why? It's because at some point somewhere down the line, one of our players is going to try to screw up the damn game, and then we're going to be off track, and we've got to come up with something on the fly. The more we know, the better you play.
Well, Kaythia, like I said, like I did not, like I was so confused about it because I remembered that there was a story about a creature mimics your loved one, lure you in to eat you, and I was like, what was it? And you were keep on telling me, but I wasn't sure, so I had to look it up because I was like, man, no, she got to be wrong. What is it? And I looked it up, like, no, she's not wrong. She's right. I feel so bad.
There's actually, I know an obscure way of turning into a werewolf. If you want to choose to be a werewolf, there's a very obscure. I've only seen it portrayed in media one time, and I was effing shocked. I was just shocked. I can't even remember what movie it was from because I was so shocked to see it. Okay, and that is if you drink holy water from the footprint of a werewolf, you can become a werewolf.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, look it up.
I got the holy water. Who's got the footprint?
You got me. Okay, what is it again? Oh man!
If you drink holy water from the footprint of a werewolf. Okay, so say like there's a werewolf, and you know it's a werewolf. Okay. And it's left a footprint in the mud, say in your backyard. If you take holy water and you pour that holy water into the footprint, and then you sip the water from that footprint, you will become a werewolf. It's that simple.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find it because it's so flippin' obscure. It's like you try to find a Horcrux before J.K. Rowling ever showed up. It's like almost impossible. And then Harry Potter happens and it's all over the place. Suddenly everybody wants to document it and nobody can. Same thing with that whole yellow ribbon, tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. We've been doing that for so long, but nobody really had the mindset to write it down. And then somebody wrote a song about it in 1973. Suddenly everybody's running to the library to document it. Well, you can't because nobody wrote that down. It's all part of folklore. Folklore is exchanged orally. It's handed down. It's passed down through stories. It's not written down. Because many people got in trouble when you wrote this stuff down. Okay, a lot of our folklore is lost. A lot of our ancient ways have been lost because of that specific reason right there, that if you got caught with a book of shadows, you were automatically a witch, regardless of what it said inside, regardless of the fact that a book of shadows really isn't a book of witchcraft.
It's a book of recipes.
It's a book of recipes. But if you got caught with it, it didn't matter. You were burned at the stake or you were hung at the gallows tree. No questions asked.
I read something like that.
One moment. Later, Cronus. Have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by, dear.
+5.
Cronus.
So none of this stuff was written down. And if you wanted it written down, you would have to actually go to these people and ask. But they're not going to talk to you about it. They're not going to talk to you about it. The old timers, there's a reason why they're quiet about it. It's because they're scared. They open up their mouth about it 50 years ago. 50 years ago, if you told somebody you were a witch, you had 100 different churches at your door screaming at you and trying to bust their way in so that they could beat you to death.
And kill you. And you.
Yeah. And this is fucking America where there's supposed to be freedom of religion. Or they would cold shoulder you out of town. This is not very long ago. Only recently have we been able to come out of our shell with some pride and go, yes, I'm pagan. Yes, I'm Wiccan. Yes, I practice. Yes, I believe.
Oh, yes,
and no, it's not what you want me to believe. It's what we want to believe. We've only just now been able to come out of that. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of this obscure knowledge, this folklore and this myth, it's going to get lost. Because we're afraid. The old timers are afraid to talk about it. Even today, they're still afraid to talk about it. They were afraid to talk about it in the 90s, for crying out loud. Here, let me. Oh, nope, I put it away. Well, that's what I get for being clean. I have this great book. I think it's Silver Ravenwolf. She did a great book on American folk magic, but it's more than just American folk magic in there. It's also about American folklore too. You know, a
I
lot
want
of this.
to read folklores. I've been wanting to read those.
Okay, well, start with Silver Ravenwolf and just go from there. Anything by Cunningham, anything by Silver Ravenwolf, or Ravenwolf, and oh shit. I'll come up with the name later. Cunningham and Ravenwolf. Start with those. Okay, if you're gonna start with anywhere, start with them.
Darth says Ruth Ann Music.
And if you're interested, also Draw Down the Moon, which is the name of the book, and then this one. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paganism.
Yeah.
And
An Introduction to Earth-Centered Religion, and
Yeah.
it's by Joyce and River. I don't know, because I've read it to pieces, y'all. I mean, hold on, let me show you. It's in bad shape. It's old. It's worn out. I've read it to death. Higginbotham. Joyce and River Higginbotham. But this is like Priestess 101 book. Okay, so I know that it's recommended overall. You dare. All right. I lost my skull. Hold on. I lost my I lost my skull in Raven. Yeah. Draw Down the Moon. Oh, People of the Earth. Sorry. Draw Down the Moon, People of the Earth, and Paganism. And those are your 3 Priestess 101 textbooks, basically. It's got all your basic stuff in it.
Wow, it's already almost 3 hours we've been at this. And very interesting stuff.
You're right, Jeff. That is the way books should be.
I love books. You can ask Darth Haster. I love to read.
And Jeff B says that's the way books should be, Kaythia.
Yes, well, I'm an avid reader. I used to read, even when I was younger, I used to read even more than that.
Oh my goodness, me too. Like, I would sit down, I would take for example, I would go to school and I have a book. After I'm done reading it for a week, I get another book and my friend says, "You already finished that book?" And I said, "Yes, this is my new one." And they said, "Man, you are a bookworm." I said, "Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
No,
I love my books."
This one also, B.
How to use intuition?
Intuition. How to use, it's called Intuitive Witchcraft.
Elevate your craft into sorry, I can't read that. Witchcraft.
Yeah, it's intuitive. This word here, intuitive.
Intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Intuitive witchcraft.
Witchcraft, okay.
Austria Taylor. Very good book. She's a new one I came across.
As long as it has no, I don't know. Is it really good?
It is very good. I highly recommend it. Because it also goes into shadow work as well. It's got bits in here about shadow work.
Oh.
Yeah. This book, I've been doing everything in this book, I've actually been doing intuitively for many years. So it was like, oh, look, I'm not the only one. I feel comfortable talking about this now. Yeah, for me.
I don't care if you talk about it. I'm not against that. I'm not against you of that. I mean, it's the way you are and stuff, you know. But to me, I don't believe in it much because, like,
there's a lot more in there than just witchcraft. You don't skip over the witchy stuff. Okay, it's not really actually witchcraft. There's lots of affirmations in there. I mean, witchcraft can be affirmations.
I did not know that.
Yeah, witchcraft is not what you think it is.
I mean, I heard a lot of bad things about witchcrafting. That's why I was. You get what I'm saying? I was in a family that is very religious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and all that stuff is no.
That's
everything that they told you is garbage.
That stuff. Because
don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. Seriously, witchcraft is not what you think it is. It's not bad. It's very, very similar to what you already do. Which is, I'm going to light this incense because, here we go. I'm going to light my frankincense incense while I say my affirmation at my altar. How different is that from being a Christian or Protestant or Catholic? Or actually, it's frankincense. So even other religions do that too.
To pray?
Yes.
I did not know that.
That's why I'm telling you, all that crap that you've been taught about witchcraft, chuck it out the window. It's wrong. It's a lie. It's just to keep you from thinking outside of the box. Witchcraft and paganism demands that you use your brain. Wicca means wisdom of the earth, how to use herbs, how to medicate yourself. Okay? What the church wants is the church wants you to pay them so that you can be healthy. Do you want to go to heaven? Pay us. Do you want to be healthy? Pay us. Do you see this trap? This is stuff that's been going on for over 1,000 years.
Sometimes they would use, like good churches, they would use that money for the church. Help others. Help people. You get what I'm saying? Good churches are like that, but there are some bad churches that don't care. They just want that money to spend it all for themselves. Because they don't
and those churches also don't want their congregation to question.
And
witchcraft, Wicca, and paganism demand their followers to ask questions. That's why the church does not like us. We want to know why. Why this and why that? What are you spending that money on?
God forbid we should ask questions. God forbid we should ask questions. Or say, where does that say that in the Bible?
Exactly. And telling everybody, like, judge other people because you want to, because they said, it's in the Bible. No, it's not. God says, shall not judge others, or you shall be judged. Get that in your head, people. Because what you're doing is judging other people because you want to, because you choose it. You are wrong.
Okay, the point is that these churches don't want questions. They don't want anybody to stir the pot. They don't want to be questioned. That's the point. Paganism demands questions being asked. Witchcraft is about questions being asked.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's very similar.
Horrible how they are, because that's all they want is money.
And you're not on the subject, though, hon. You're not on the subject. The subject is that what you think witchcraft is, what you have been taught witchcraft is not witchcraft. It's lies. That's the point.
Yes, question everything. Absolutely.
If you're too scared to question, then you aren't a problem, are you? And nothing needs to be explained, and you are never going to
learn. Just follow straight to the slaughterhouse. Because I said so. Well, who are you? I am blah, 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 a man of God. Okay, well, if God is telling you that, show me in the Bible where it says that. And when you question they'll shut you down so fast, and they'll kick you out
They will.
for being defiant. How
And
is that
it's
defiant
wrong.
if you're asking a question because you don't understand something? Legitimately, I don't understand what you were talking about. Can you please point that out to me well, you're being defiant. No, I'm asking you a damn question.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, I don't understand it. Like, the people, I don't know. Like, some of these churches just don't know what they're talking about and everything. And, like, it is hard to find a good church because there's a lot of them that just don't care. They just like, oh, just kick you out because you ask questions and
So stop
treat you like
going and start looking for your own answers. That's what
Right.
witchcraft is. That's what paganism is. That's what Wicca is looking for your own answers, not from a man, not from a church, not from a temple, but from God himself or
Right.
herself. Whatever
And
you
even
define
Jesus
God to
said,
be.
seek and ye shall find. Seek and ye shall find. Jesus
Stop
said
asking
it.
those questions of men
Yep.
and start asking those
Them
of
of
your
God.
divine source. Go out to a
Yes.
tree and ask God.
Yes. Pray about
Yes.
it. Be like, God, help
Yes.
me understand this and that.
Correct.
Seriously. Yes.
That is Wicca. That is witchcraft. That is paganism. That is why they keep telling you all of these lies about witchcraft, that it's evil. It's not evil. It's going directly to the source. They don't want you to do that. They want there to be a middleman, because if there's a middleman, there's money involved. Money, power. Yes, power also. Some people feel better. They feel secure when they have control over a group of people. When you have one person standing up and saying, hey, you don't control me, that causes problems.
Yep.
And that's what Jesus did. He caused problems.
Because
And number one,
what he believed.
If God wanted to control us, he would have never given us free will.
Exactly. And he wouldn't die for our sins.
Okay? What some beliefs are, some beliefs. And but yeah, okay. It's the proverbial saying. You should really never mind. Now we're into religion. We don't want to get into religion. It's a very
all I was saying is that just open your mind. There's nothing to be afraid of there. That's all I was trying to get to you at.
Right.
Is that what Rene Descartes, to come into a better understanding of the world around you, you have to forget what you've been taught, because most likely you've been taught lies.
Because our parents have been taught lies, who have been taught lies by their parents, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Because how do you control the people once again? You know?
Mm-hmm. And this is about letting go, you know?
Right.
It's not just about letting go of your past or forgiving yourself of your past or other people's past. It's also letting go of old thinking patterns. What you've been taught is wrong. That's it. Let go.
Hi, Jens. Welcome.
That's why I said with that first paranormal experience that you shared with the angels, you're divinely protected. There's no reason for you to fear anything. Nothing. Even if you were to go back to a pendulum or a Ouija board, there would be nothing for you to fear, because you've seen it with your own eyes. You know you're divinely protected. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you do. You've got angels on you.
Right.
And sometimes you got to go to scary places to learn things.
I know that God and his angels are watching over me.
Right. Right. You're not going to learn anything in the light. That's all I'm saying. Most of the stuff you're going to learn is in the dark. And not that it's scary, not that it's even evil. I mean, even in a lot of my experiences have been that at first, this evil thing happens or this bad thing happens. There's this destruction. There's this chaos that enters my life. And it's difficult to deal with at first. And then I get through it and I look back and I go, wait a minute. Well, it's a damn good thing I went through that, because I learned that there. And now that applies to this over here and this over here. And then also applies down the line where I can't even see it. Now that I'm older, I can look back at some of my early lessons and go, well, damn, if I had not learned and been open to Charlie, my boogeyman, where would I be now? Would I have had the courage to face my shadow? Would I have had the strength to deal with all this, what should have been, I don't even know. I can't even tell you. Just that one thing that happened in my life changed me at such a core level. I wouldn't be the same person. To learn that the scariest thing in this whole universe is not a shadow, it's not a demon, it's another human. That's the scariest thing.
I think the scariest thing in the world is your own person of evil people being out there, actually killing real people and stuff. That's the real scary thing about it, about this real world.
Well, that would be a human person running around killing people.
Yep.
That's scary. Yeah, that's what I said. A human person going out there and causing crime. A human person going out there and kidnapping children. That's frightening.
Scary.
That's more scary than a ghost. I'd rather face a demon any day than demons are not to be feared. The shadow people are not to be feared. There are much scarier things that are happening here and now. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Man. Ugh. Humans. We're a scary bunch.
I'm sorry, animals are more respectful and more loving than human beings ever will be. I'm just saying.
No, it's true.
It is. They're like angels. I swear, I really think these animals come from angels and come to your life to make it better for you, too. I'm serious.
Well, they just got different methodology. I'm
Like
just not afraid of it. I'm just not afraid of demons. I'm not afraid. I'm just not. Because they have no power over me. They can't suck out my soul. Demons can't eat me. It doesn't work that way. If I let them, then yeah. If I allow it, then yes. But who's got the power here? I can still stop them at any time. My soul is my soul. It doesn't matter how many contracts I make. I could sign the dotted line forever, for 100 years. I can still take back my power anytime, because that's what it means to be human. None of that occult stuff is real unless you make it to be so. Marie Laveau, yes, thank you. That's all I need to say.
I want to show off my cat.
We saw her. The cat was cute.
She's my baby. A little 2-year-old. I was running around my house. Feel like I have a cat. Like a kid in a house. Feels great.
disclaimer, if you're looking up Marie Laveau, which I do definitely recommend, stay away from American Horror Story. That's not the Marie Laveau I'm talking about.
Are the last names spelled different?
No, they're spelled the same. They're spelled the same. But currently, she is also being portrayed as a character in American Horror Story. But Marie Laveau is a real person, and she's from New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
She has an amazing story. She's a great spiritual leader. Just all I'm saying is watch out for American Horror Story. That's not the character. That's not the person I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Jens Peter. Animals eat their own pups or litter
Only
of
if
kids. Not
only if they're
not all humans eat their own. Okay. You're ruining it. Shut up.
Animals do that for a reason. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they eat them when they're not gonna live. The pups.
Yeah, meaning they're sick or there's something wrong with them. That's why they eat them. There's a reason.
Yeah.
But I don't want to think about that because I love animals. Shut up.
Don't get her started, Jens, really, please. Well, guys, we're coming up on like 3 hours, and I think I'm gonna close it down unless anybody's got anything else.
Nope, I think I'm out now.
Anybody down in chat got a good paranormal story they want to share? If so, let me know. I'll hook up the
Agreed, Darth.
Yeah.
I don't like American Horror Story. I will not watch it. It will give me nightmares and it ruins my head. Just saying.
Oh, but we'll watch paranormal shit all day long, me and her. That don't mess up with her. That don't mess her shit up.
No, that's different. Because you know why? Because the American Horror Story has bloody, shitty stuff. Paranormal stuff is about ghosts and stuff. There's a difference.
Okay, you're so
yeah,
weird.
There's a difference.
Okay. Well, if nobody's got anything else, let's see what's going on. What's going on, Kaythia? Besides our Wake Up Wednesdays. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 5:55 Eastern Standard. No, 6:55 Eastern Standard.
5:55 Central.
Yes, for Wake Up Wednesdays. And we just never know what the topic's going to be.
Oh,
well, yes, we do. Sometimes we do.
Well, I know, but the last week we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Oh, Jens has one.
Okay.
Well, I would say, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. You guys were talking about.
Well, I was going to wrap up.
Oh yeah, channel. My I was thinking of on a weekend I'm going to be doing a role playing with dolls. If you guys like to watch, come and watch, because I was planning on doing it for last weekend, this weekend, but I didn't get the chance to because other things in my head right now. But anyways, if you guys want to watch whatever, just let me know.
Okay. I have actually been putting videos up on my channel, Kaythia Star.
Awesome.
Yes, currently I have one up. I am watching The Bad Batch. And so I've been reviewing The Bad Batch, y'all. I've actually I'm putting things up again. We'll see what happens. Okay.
Oh, I'm interested. I'll be there. I'm definitely going to be there. I really, really want to see it. Really.
Okay, well, it's not a live stream. They're just videos. Okay,
they're
I'm not.
hideous, but I don't care. I'll still watch them.
Okay, yeah. It's about that I got this really weird. I got this really weird. I don't what message, and I don't even know where it came from. It was just, but it was just eating at me, just pecking at me. It was a little bit. Just watch Star Wars. Just watch Star Wars. Just watch Star Wars. Just watch Star Wars. I finally just said, okay, so I started watching Clone Wars, and I'm like, no, please don't make me watch it. And then I saw an advertisement for the Bad Batch, and I'm like, okay, let's just flip over to that one. I don't even care anymore. I got through like 5 episodes of the Clone Wars, and I just couldn't take Anakin, and I just couldn't take it anymore. Because it was just, the dialogue was so fucking bad. It was just, oh my god, my brain was oozing from my ears and my nose, and I just couldn't handle it. So I'm like, okay, we're doing Bad Batch, and so I watched that one, and that one is superior in comparison to the Clone Wars. I like where it started. I like where it's headed, and I don't care about lore. I don't care about what the books say. I don't give shit. I don't care. I'm watching it and I'm liking it. So
UK's loaded with ghosts.
Yeah. I was
so Kaythia Star,
muted.
The Bad Batch. Watch that.
The Bad Batch. Okay.
That's what I've been trying
Jeans.
to get.
I want to hear his story. Hold on, guys.
I'd like to hear your story.
Well, I do have to go.
Hey, you got
Okay.
You got any ghost stories, Pastor?
No.
Well, if you gotta go,
bye everybody. Plus
bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
Hey, I'm not done.
I'm kidding. Okay, what is it, girl?
I put the link in for Jens if he wanted to come up and share. If not,
Yes, please. We would like to hear your scary story.
anybody else, the links in the chat if you want to come up and share anything paranormal or spooky or something weird that's happened, things that go bump in the night, facing your own demons and shadows. Here he is. Hello, Jens. You two knock it off or put it on mute.
It is on mute. What are you talking about?
No, you're not muted. Now you are. Hey, Jens.
Yeah, B-Star. 333.
Hold on, Bone. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Enjoyed having you. Lady Mist, if you're leaving, thanks. So Jens, yeah. What's up?
Yes. What's your
Yeah.
scary story? Tell us. We're interested.
Well, I've got quite a few, me. Like, now, to clarify, before, like, I start, like, I have took some mind-altering substances before, so, like, it might not be all, but I have seen like ghosts and that, but the one though that you can check out yourself is the one on 3 Men and a Baby, you know, with and Tom Selleck, Dan, and Mahoney from. But anyway, there's a scene in that where the mother it's Dan thingy. Oh, I forget his second name, but he's, because it's supposed to be his bane, and he's ropes his mother in to try and do a bit of babysitting for him. And there's a scene where he's talking to her in that, but in the background there's a ghost of a boy who like was involved in a gun accident in the house that the scene was filmed in, because I think it was the house that they pretend to own, or if it was the house that the mother was supposed to own. But yeah, you can see it and all on YouTube and that. But like, there was a few that tried altering it and that, you know, to claim like it wasn't supernatural route. But like, I remember seeing it back in '86 or '87 when it was like released and that, and there was no way like you could do special effects to that high quality. Like, yeah, because have you ladies seen 3 Men and a Baby?
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm
That
sure it's
is-
very haunted over there.
Yes.
Got a lot of history over there.
Sounds scary.
Yeah, it is a bit sort of like crazy because like when I first watched 3 Men and a Baby, I didn't notice it until like the sort of word got around that, like, oh yeah, you look at this certain scene. Oh, Ted Danson, yeah. Cheers, Jeff B. Yeah. Where Ted Danson is talking to the character's mother, sort of thing. The Ted Danson's sort of pretend mother, sort of thing, about babysitting. And there's a scene where they're walking, and you see like a bear. Well, not. I won't say a bear. It was more like a 10-year-old, where they're in between, sort of like, I think it was 7 or 8 maybe, but it was sort of like that sort of halfway, sort of from being a kid to a teen, sort of thing. So, and like they claimed that, like, oh no, it was a practical joke, but it won't, because there's no way you do a practical joke like that, because you look at the history and that, and apparently a kid was involved in a gun accident, and that I think it was one of them where the parents hadn't like safely like locked the guns up in that, and the kid might have been playing around with one of them and like shot themselves and that.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, and like the parents left and that, and I think they sold it, like, and with film companies, they'll usually film in apartments that are like up for rental and that are, or up for sale and that, so they'll just rent it for like a few weeks or whatever, or sometimes they might not even, if they know like the people whose house it is, sometimes they just will let them film in an empty house that they're not going to be in anyway. But anyway, yeah, the yeah, probably when it got released, it'd have been where, because they weren't looking for it and that, and everything in the shot seems okay and that, they'd have probably just okayed it. And it wasn't until like probably you're watching it for about 2 or 3 times, because like with films, the first time you watch it, you're usually concentrating on the main characters who are speaking at that moment. But when you watch it 2 or 3 times, like you know what's happening. So sometimes you'll look in the background and that. And so probably by the second or third time someone's watched it, they'll be like, "Oh, what's that little kid doing in there?" But it does look a bit transparent.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sometimes you don't catch things on the first go.
Yeah. Because
Ooh.
I gotta say something, James. I love your accent. I had to say that because I really like it.
Yeah. I can do a more English accents where I have to put that on sometimes when I'm talking to people. I'm not very good with English and that, but yeah,
You're doing
usually that.
good to me. You're doing
Yeah,
a
you'll
Yeah.
be
good
fine.
job.
Well, yeah, sometimes though, I is usually if I'm drunk and that I'll swear my
Ah,
way, like yeah, and then when I'm speaking to like people who like who don't really like know my sort of like lingo, sort of in dialects and that, like I do try and be more sort of pronounce it a bit more clearly and try and make sure like I don't mumble as much.
you do fine. You do fine.
Yeah, cheers,
Well, thanks for
Nancy.
sharing that. I'm gonna I'm wiped out. I'm gonna have to shut down
Yeah,
unless
well, I
so
say next
again,
time. Yeah, I say next time you do a stream, I've got some more stories and that. Like,
yeah.
Oh yes,
yeah,
We're gonna do a second one because there's just so much we didn't touch base on. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, look for the link. I think we'll do one maybe Tuesday. Maybe we'll do a terrifying Tuesday stream.
Oh, we
ooh,
could do fake stories too with each other.
Huh?
Fake stories, ghost stories, fake ones if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be fun.
And real ones.
Yes, and
yeah.
werewolf.
Oh, maybe you have to guess which is fake and which is real.
Oh
Ha!
yes.
That'll be fun.
Yes, it will be. I'm all excited about that.
Yeah, let's do that Tuesday. We're going to do terrifying Tuesdays, y'all. I'm not sure what time. And we'll be telling stories, and you'll have to decide
And
if
Jen's
it's true.
Pinder,
Heather,
Peta.
yeah.
oh, I wanted to say thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Well, no. Trouble there. Yeah, I thought I'll come on. 'Cause as I say, like I've got
Yeah, look for
quite
us
a lot of
Tuesday. We'll try
yeah,
to do it around this time because I know it's good time for you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
great.
All right.
All
Well, we'll
right.
see you all around. Everybody in chat, Jeff B, Fenwer the Ice Wolf, Darth Hauser, in the lasagna coma, Cronus, of course, Bone, Lady Mist,
Jeff B.
of course, yes, Jeff B. Then, of course, Jins. Then we had the old I can't think.
Chronos.
William Jackson, of course. Thank you, William Jackson. We also had the old movie guy. Was the old movie?
Yeah, old movie guy. Yes, you're right.
What was it that? Okay, because I don't like to get
Yeah.
anybody's name wrong, and I don't like to miss anyone. Just want to thank you guys for showing up. Had a good time. I hope you all were entertained and learned something, or just had a good time hanging out with us. Until next time, ciao for now.
Bye, everyone.
Right.